One way in which I structure practice is to divide drills into teaching drills, training drills, and competition drills. And so for me, a teaching drill is one where I'm going to do a lot of instruction. So I'm willing to stop, the action if I see a mistake, or if I see something that I want to correct, or if I see something that I want to teach. And so it's going to be the drills. Usually the first time I use a drill is going to be used as a teaching drill. First time I put in, an offense or an offensive action is generally going to be through a teaching drill. And so I'm willing to stop the action to make a correction. In a training drill, my goal is not to stop the action, but to give intermittent feedback. So as possessions are going, I might give feedback during the possession, or maybe if it's a full court scrimmage type situation, I'm trying to give the feedback, as they're transitioning from offense to defense, or maybe when they're away from the play, I can try to, give a small amount of feedback where it's not going to disrupt their performance. So I will stop action if I see a mistake, the same mistake multiple times, but my goal is not to stop the action, but to provide feedback and teaching and instruction as necessary. In a competition drill, then, I'm really not going to stop the action unless the performance just gets out of control in terms of poor performance or something, lack of concentration especially. As long as they're playing and playing hard and focused on the task, I'm really not going to stop the action. I'm going to approach that like it's a game, and then after we conclude whatever we're doing, so if it's scrimmage when one team wins, or if it's a drill when we complete the drill, then I'm going to give feedback on what I saw or what happened, and then I might actually walk through a mistake, and so this, we did this happened, and this is the mistake, so how can we correct it? So that's how I'm going to, teach something in a competition drill, is after the fact, go back and let's think about what happened. But within the drill, I'm going to let them continue to compete and play, because if you stop the action every single time there's a mistake in practice, players don't learn how to play when there's mistakes. And in a game, you only have a limited amount of timeouts, so you can't stop the action every time there's a mistake. And so players need to learn and have the capacity to play through mistakes, to play through a teammate's mistake. If you call a play and the first somebody makes the wrong part of the play, or forgets the play, or does something incorrectly, we have to be able to adjust to what happened. And so I don't want to stop the action all the time, because I want players to learn how to adjust and adapt to different mistakes, and to play through them, and to learn to excel through the mistakes. So that's kind of how I structure practice in terms of, I will try to combine all three types of drills in a single practice. I will usually try to follow a teaching drill with a competition drill, just so it kind of reduces the amount of talking that I'm doing, and they can go from a more structured, more teaching, instruction-centered drill, where I might be teaching something new or explaining a lot or stopping the action to maybe perfect something, and then we can go into a competition drill where I'm going to kind of stand back and allow them to play, and allow them to go through these movements, and maybe take what we just taught, and see if we can apply it, and see if we can adjust to any mistakes that might happen. And then after we finish, then maybe we go back and correct something. But this is kind of the tool that I use to make sure that I'm not talking too much at practice, and to allow the players to play, and get some confidence playing, and do some trial and error learning, and some adjusting to mistakes, and seeing how things are going to happen through the course of a game. But then also have the time where I can teach. And because I do most of my teaching through games or scrimmages or small-sided games, this is one way that enables me to do some teaching, and to break some things down. Because I think that's one of the criticisms of using games as a teaching tool is the idea that, oh, it's a game, you can't instruct. And so I might set up a 3-on-3 game. Maybe the focus is pick and roll defense, and I'm using this as a teaching drill, so I'm going to introduce how I want us to defend this side-on ball screen. And when we do it incorrectly, I'm going to make sure that our positioning is correct, and I'm going to stop it, And the next possession, if we make a mistake, I'm going to stop it because this is a teaching drill. I'm teaching them something. I'm just using a small-sided game as the as the drill instead of walking through it 2-on-0, 3-on-0, etc. We're just going to play a game, and if there's mistakes, then I'm going to stop it. But then I'm going to give them the chance to go into a competitive drill. Maybe then we transition to a 5-on-5 half-court drill, where now I'm not going to say anything, and I just hope that we can apply what we just practiced and we just learned into the 5-on-5 situation. And then I'm just kind of taking mental notes and seeing, okay, well, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this wrong. Okay, we need to adjust this, we need to talk about this. And then when the game finishes, losers run, come back together, and now, okay, so this happened, how can we fix it? This happened, how can we fix it? And so that tends to be how I teach, and that's how I use games to teach, and it's also how I make sure that I'm not talking too much of practice and give them a chance to do the learning on their own as well.